Hey guys, I've finally decided to make another fire alarm video. I know it's been a long time and it's kind of what the channel's based on, but I've gone off subject a little bit. But I figured tonight let's make a video on the fire alarm system. A lot of you have been asking about it and an update on it, so we're just going to go over the basics. There's a lot going on, there's a lot that I've implemented into the system, but to save me rambling on, tonight we're just going to do a walk test of everything. I'll go over some basic stuff, but if anyone wants to see some more advanced stuff like the fire map interface and how I control it with Home Assistant and all of that stuff, even me just saying this now makes me want to ramble on about how everything's set up. But hey, let's get into it. We'll start with the panel. It's an F220, Pertronic F220. It's I've had it for, I think I've had this installed for about a year and a half now. It's been a really good panel. When I first got it, there was a firmware issue and it would go into defect every so often, but they fixed that in one of their firmware updates and it's been rock solid ever since. So no, it's a really nice panel, and I didn't want to make a video about it straight away. I wanted to get to know it first and make sure it is a really good product. But no, it's by far the best panel I've ever had installed. So we'll go over the basics here. You've got your LCD driver here. Everything can be upgraded, all the firmware can be upgraded via USB, which is a big improvement over their older panels, which you had to use a FIS programmer for, so that's nice to see. Here's your main board, so that's your processor, your relays, all your inputs and outputs. Here is your Super SGD, that is the brigade interface, so that's how the brigade knows you've had a fire call out. You've got your loop card here. On the F220s, you can have a total of 20 of these, which makes for 40 individual loops. You can also network these panels, so you can have, I'm not sure what the maximum is, it might also be 20, but don't quote me on that because I'm probably wrong. But yeah, you can network these systems, and it's quite a seamless integration rather than the F120s and F100s, so no, nice to see. Finally, we have the Pertronic EA60 amplifier. This is their newest edition. You can actually see a little bit of stuff on here which you couldn't before. You've got audio test menus, if the screen will focus. Let's try and get in here a bit more. There we go. So you got your audio test menu, your isolate menu. You can upload files to this amplifier via USB, which is a huge improvement over the 50-watt amplifier where you had to use a special programmer and actually update the firmware to add additional sound files. So now really making progress with this one, and super happy with it. Anyway, let's get started. So what we'll do to begin our test is we will play the audio test tone. I'll also close this panel up because for tonight we're going to be using the remote interface, which is this cable here. So we'll be doing all of our commands via a remote connection to this panel. Let's just close this up. Right, let's get the software started up. I did have it open earlier, so hopefully it's not too much of a hassle to get. Okay, we have the remote software open. Unfortunately, it took a while to log in, so we're definitely doing an editing video, unfortunately, but that's okay. So we'll do ATS isolate. That is now disconnected us from the fire brigade. We'll do, we might leave all the doors on for now, just so we can see what happens. We will do silence alarms. And what we're going to hear is, many of you know I have a air raid siren hooked up, so we should actually hear that one go off because I haven't isolated the auxiliary. So let me just do a check here and make sure I'm not missing anything. My phone's on silent now, so hopefully the video doesn't stop recording when the siren goes off, because it sends me a notification and sometimes that stops the recording. But so we've got sound is isolated, ATS isolated, and we will still get a text message, but hopefully it won't stop the recording. So let's do it. You'll also notice this door's already unlocked, but all of the locked doors in the house will now unlock. Okay, some other things that have happened now. As you can see, the automatic gate has opened. All of the doors in the house have unlocked for fire safety issue, or for fire safety compliance. And obviously you heard the siren go up. It's sent notifications to my BMS system. These speakers were on just before and they've turned off. So if you're playing loud music in here, it automatically stops that from playing. So what we'll do to stop my dog running away, let's do door holder isolate. And you should see shortly the gate will begin to close again. There it goes. Okay, we'll do a quick alarm test in here and make sure we can hear it properly. So we'll do silence alarms. Cool. So that's all tested, that's very good. And we will now do the auxiliary isolate. So that's going to stop the siren from going up every single time we do an activation. What we're going to do now is we're going to reset the system. So you can see the activation here from my call point. We'll do a reset. And we're actually going to use walk test now. It's going to be a bit easier to walk around the house and check everything. So we'll go to our service menu. Test menu. Walk test, zone all, and we'll do a sounder walk test. Okay, now that we're in walk test, we will test the smoke alarm, make sure that works properly. And actually what I will do, because I get sent a text message every time activation occurs, and it's, I don't know how much it is per text, but pricey, we will isolate the fire map interface, or else we're going to be getting a text message every time we set off a detector. Right, let's see, 703. Okay. Just FYI, this is my main interface with Home Assistant. So you've got your network card here for fire map, and you've also got a loop responder for all of the Home Assistant stuff. So that I played Westminster chimes on the hour, it turns all the fire speakers on and plays the chimes on the hour. It's a really nice addition. It's quite a peaceful thing. It's nice to hear the time when you can't see the time, and it also allows you to check all of your speakers and make sure they're all operating. So yeah, I might make a separate video on Home Assistant. As I said, it's been so long since I have made a video, I don't really know where to begin. So tonight might be a bit rushed trying to fit everything in, so we're just going to do a basic walk test. Anyway, we are on walk test. We'll take off silence alarms. We'll leave all the auxiliaries on, so nothing else should activate. And let's trigger this detector. It doesn't have a very visible magnet mark on this one, so it's a little bit hard to see. There it is. Let's see if that activates walk test. Okay, this is actually my first time doing walk test on video. I haven't actually done it before, so maybe you have to do it for a little bit longer for the sounder to go off. We'll have a look. The other thing to take into account is that I have apartment modules everywhere, which they actually stop the sound unless they're turned on. That could be a consideration. We'll just leave the magnet here for a bit longer and see if the sirens start to go off. There we go, they are. Now we'll remove the magnet and we'll see if it resets.
Warning.
Okay, that's good. So you hear there was a different tone for the smoke detector versus the call point. I actually have a staged evacuation here, so if any of the smoke detectors go off in the house, it starts the alarms immediately, but it won't actually call the fire brigade until 1 minute. That gives you a little bit of time to walk around and investigate what might have caused that alarm. That way you're not dealing with false alarm calls to the brigade. And over the years, it's proved a very effective system. So as you know, this system's been in, not the F220, but the fire system in general, which was set up very similar to this, has been in for 5-6 years, maybe even more. And it's been really reliable. I haven't had any false alarms through the actual fire brigade, only local alarms, which are generally cooking related. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's move on to the next area. So we do actually have fire protection down in this shed. That one that you're looking at there is the generator shed, but we're not going to go in there tonight. We'll start with this middle shed. This is one that's currently under construction. We're actually just picking up on construction again now, but I know my parents aren't the fastest at building things, so I put a fire alarm system in here a long time ago. So let's do our magnet test on the heat detector, and this one should play the full evacuation message. Any day. There we go. We'll just hold it on here until it activates, if I can keep my hands straight. It takes quite a long time, I'll tell you that much. Okay, that's just reset, and I don't quite know what's happened there. We'll try it again. It might just be because I'm moving my hand a bit, because it's hard to do it with one hand. Let's try and keep the magnet a bit more stable on there. Well, that's weird. Doesn't seem to be triggering that one. Let's move on to the next one. Let's try this one here. Magnet should be on this side. Cool. That's that one all good. Alright, we'll need our access card for here. If I remembered to bring it with me, that is. I didn't. Let's see if my phone will work while it's recording. It sure does. Okay, it's been a while since you guys have seen the system in here, so we'll just go over a few things. Here's your monitor module, or output module rather, relay module for the outdoor horn speaker. We've got smoke detectors in here. Let's go. Try that one there. That one definitely works. Let's try the one in here. Okay, we'll just do one more smoke detector in the house. I definitely will make some more videos on this, go a bit more in depth, but we'll just do the house, and we might just go do the linear heat in the shed and make sure that works, and we'll just leave it at that for tonight. Gosh, this one's a bit slow too. Come on. Normally the heat detectors are the ones that go off the quickest, but maybe it's something to do with walk test. It's a bit strange. Let's see if this does anything. No, there's something strange going on with heat detectors and walk tests, because I've definitely tested all of these on the normal alarm mode, so that's something I'll definitely look into. We'll actually test that now, and we'll make sure that they are working under normal conditions, but that's definitely a bit strange. Yeah. Let's go out this door. We'll try this detector in the foyer here. This is a smoke, so we should be right to test this one. You can also see this fire door would have been open earlier, but it's closed with the activations that we've been having. There we go. You can hear it going there. And just out of curiosity, we will... Oops, sorry, the video ended there, but we were going to check this heat detector as well and see if we have the same problem. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'm not leaving the magnet on for long enough or something. No, nothing. All right, so what we're going to do now to do a bit of a sanity check is we'll go remove it from walk test, and we'll try activate the same heat detector alarms with the actual alarm versus walk test, and we'll see if they go off, because it shouldn't be happening, and I've definitely tested them without walk tests. So let's see what's going on there. We'll grab our tablet here. And let's start with the first heat detector that failed to go off, and that's the one in this outside kitchen here. Okay, so we'll cancel the walk test now. We might... Yeah, it's very strange. We have to cancel test for each zone. As I said, tonight is the first night I've actually used the walk test function, so it's interesting to learn this. Okay, let's put silence alarms on for now, and let's trigger this heat detector here. Okay, that's been triggered. It's definitely an alarm. Let's try and remove silence alarms and see what happens. You can see the horn speaker has stopped working outside. That's because it's 8 o'clock at night, and it doesn't go after 8 p.m.
Evacuate the building using the nearest fire exit.
Okay, I think that might sum up tonight's video. You know what? Let's just go into the shed quickly, and we'll test the linear in there. And after that, I think we'll call this video good for tonight. So we'll do a reset on here. That's all good. Let's have a look at our isolations and make sure there's nothing here that shouldn't be isolated. No, everything is good. So that doesn't explain why those heat detectors weren't going off on walk test. Okay, here we are in the shed zone. What we'll do is we'll make sure that the rain droplets haven't turned off our ATS isolate, because that would be Absolutely hilarious, and probably an actual real concern there, but it hasn't, and silence alarms are on. So we'll go back to our main menu. Oh, that is our main menu because there's isolations, that's why. Right, let's see if we can get to the linear heat. It's going to be a bit tricky because the shed's a bit full at the moment. We've been cleaning out the middle one. Lucky I've got a long pole on me. So this is linear heat, this zone, but I've put a reed switch in so I can actually short it and test it without removing anything, which should be a commercial product, but yeah, maybe it will be if Pertronic sees this video. Okay, here we go, linear heat cable, shed. Let's do our silence alarms, make sure she's all going. Sure is. Okay, we'll do a reset on that. Very good. And we will put everything back to normal. We'll leave ATS isolate on until we definitely know that everything's all good. Yeah, it looks good to me. I thought I'd just tack this bit onto the end of the video since I'm editing it anyway, since we couldn't get the tablet started up seamlessly without fumbling around and trying to get into the password into the computer. We'll just add this on. I forgot to mention our mimic here. So this is it's not a full function mimic, it is a enhanced mimic. So you can do a lot that you can do on the main panel, not everything, but you can see most things. So if we go into device status, you can see the PWM values and contamination percentage for all of your detectors. Could be quite handy if you're in a remote part of the building. You can see temperatures, so this should be a heat detector here. It is heat upper toilet. That one is 23 degrees. The temperature is not always the most accurate. There are some strange readings, so it's a rough estimation of what the temperature is. I wouldn't use it to do any automations based on temperature, but it's close enough to see. Anyway, it's enough rambling about that one. Let's move on to the other thing that I missed during the initial video, and that is the isolation timer module. In a small house like this, this is the culprit of most of the false alarms in this house. And thanks to the ITM module, which is the isolator timer module, we have been able to prevent most of these. As I mentioned earlier, we've got multi-stage evacuation set up, so it won't call the fire brigade straight away. But the most common cause of false alarm, as many of you know, is cooking smoke, which those air fryers are notorious for making smoke, especially if you're cooking something a little greasy. So what you do is when you're doing some cooking, if you're proactive, which has been a natural thing in the house, everyone's learnt to use this timer, you just keep pressing it. So that's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes. So they'll normally just press that. It isolates all the smoke detectors in the house. And because it's going through a listed timer device, you don't need to do any shutdown notices. You don't need to put an isolation sticker, because that isolation is only going to be there while this timer is active. I mean, ideally you wouldn't isolate anything, but it's still better than a false alarm. So what it does is it isolates all of the smoke detectors in this side of the house. So it isolates that one there, it isolates the one in this room, and it also isolates the one in the master bedroom, as well as the one above the table. In a bigger house, this might not be an issue. We're in quite a small house here, so the smoke travels quite quickly. If it was my own house, I would probably add some sort of fan extraction just to the air fryer. I'm known for my eccentric contraptions, so that wouldn't be out of the question. But for this use case in this house, it's worked really well, and it has really stopped even the smoke detectors from going off with cooking smoke. So it's been a really nice addition, and it's actually made a commercial system easier than a conventional smoke detector, because you just press that before. If you've got a normal smoke detector in a house, you're waving a rag in front of it and trying to get the smoke out of it, and So yeah, it's really nice. Anyway, I just thought I'd cover those couple of things that I missed, and we'll definitely make a bigger video on this. We'll do a full system test. I'm expecting people to come back very shortly, so it's not the longest video tonight, but hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.